Hello and welcome back to the News Project Live on GNAT-TV's Facebook page. I'm Andrew McKeever, the news director at GNAT-TV's News Project. It's a pleasure to have you with us today on Friday, January 22nd. Another snow day going on out there. I'm sure all you skiers out there must be thrilled. Those of us who get to shovel snow and plow the driveways, maybe not so much. But anyway, it is the middle of January, so what can you expect? Anyway, a quick rundown of some of the top stories we've been following this week and looking forward to ones coming up next week. The most important thing going on, of course, is the vaccine registration and rollout for the general population begins on Monday, January 25th. Up to now, healthcare workers and residents of senior long-term care living facilities have been getting vaccinated. But now, starting on Monday, you will be able to register for an appointment for vaccines if you're 75 years old or older. And then beginning on Wednesday, those vaccinations will start to take place. We're going to work our way down through the age groups in 5 year increments. Um, After all the 75 years old and older folks are taken care of, we'll move on to the 70 and older, then on to the 65 and older. It's about 125,000 Vermonters in those three age brackets. And state officials are expecting that it will take a while to work through all those age groups. Probably will take until the springtime before those are done, and then can keep on moving down in the age brackets to get everyone vaccinated. Of course, that is also going to be contingent on the supply of the vaccine being available. And if you've been following the news at all on that score, you know there's been a lot of concerns and questions about whether or not the supply of the vaccine will be adequate or how quickly it will be available. So once you do register, you might just want to pay attention to that because it's entirely possible your appointment could get canceled or rescheduled. So how will you register? There will be a website. I'm assuming you'd go to the Vermont Department of Health's website on Monday, and if it's not there, you'll get directions to it. They are encouraging people to, register online as opposed to make a phone call. But anyway, if you are in that 75 years of age and older age bracket, um, maybe some of you who think going online isn't quite what you are as adept at as you would like to be, but maybe you can get someone to help you out with that. But anyway, that's the preferred way to go. So light at the end of the tunnel, they say. I guess that's what this is. But it will still be a while before we're all, or at least enough people are vaccinated so that herd immunity is achieved, and we can begin to look forward to the day when maybe you don't need to worry about bringing that face mask with you when you're going out shopping. Um, this is all happening at a really good time because, as you may already know, Bennington County is seeing a really striking uptick in the number of cases in the county. Right now, we are number three in the state behind Chittenden County and Windsor County in terms of the total number of cases. But when you look at it as a per capita or percentage of population um, way, we are now, I think, in the lead. More cases per 10,000 residents uh, than any other county in the state. That is not due, according to state officials who were talking today at the governor's press conference, due to a sort of a specific outbreak like what we saw in Washington County back in November or so. The skating rink up there was apparently the source point of a widespread outbreak up that way. Rather, this seems more generalized. The hospital in Bennington, the Southwestern Vermont Medical Center, is saying that they still have plenty of capacity, though, to handle more cases. Uh, and, you know, but they have put some restrictions on their visitor policy. But anyway, they're just encouraging everybody to be careful and you know wear that face mask and practice that social distancing. Um, Speaking of the press conference, as you probably have already heard earlier this week, Governor Scott and several other state officials, including the health commissioner, Dr. Mark Levine, and the commissioner of public safety, Michael Sherling, uh, have been in quarantine since last Tuesday when it became apparent that they might have been infected or contracted COVID-19 from a contractor who works at the site where they host those press conferences on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, out of an abundance of caution, as the saying goes, they and other folks who might have been exposed to the contractor are working remotely and quarantining for a week or so. So far, they've all tested negative, but a few more days, I guess, to go before they're totally in the clear and can go back and do those press conferences in person. Um, as a result, today's press conference was done remotely. It was certainly a different experience for all of them than what they're used to. Basically, the Human Services Secretary Mike Smith, who is also among those in quarantine, went over the registration and vaccination procedures, and also how explained also that you're going to be asked to wait about 15 minutes after you get your shot to see if there's any immediate reactions you might have to it, and also to give them an opportunity to schedule the second dose, which you're also going to need. Um, those of you who are in that age bracket, again, you might want to just go onto the Orca Media website or YouTube channel and watch that explanation that Commissioner Smith gave right at the start of the press briefing. He kind of went through it in a lot of detail and explained what was going to be happening. That was going to be useful information, I think, for many of you. Health Commissioner Levine also noted that there were 174 new cases reported yesterday. That compares to 102 on Wednesday. And that seems like quite a significant jump. But overall, he said he felt he seemed to be striking in a bit of an optimistic tone, saying that we've got a good handle on this, and there's no need to panic around a sharp jump like that. Okay, getting back to something a little more local. Town meeting is coming up. Well, 6 weeks or so from now. And one of the stories we're covering that's connected to that has been the rail trail proposal in Manchester. At this point, many of you probably are very familiar with the rail trail. It's about a mile and a half long stretch of former railroad track running from North Road in Manchester down to Riley Rink. A group of folks bought that rail lines about, let's see, I'm thinking now 12 years ago. And they've been doing a lot of work on it and hope to turn it over to the town for long-term maintenance and recreational asset to the community. Um, and the town has been kind of concerned about acquiring it at a point, well, certainly this year, with the COVID economy being as uncertain as it is. Um, there's been a number of discussions during recent select board meetings about this. Uh, they came up with a proposal at their select board meeting last Tuesday to put it on the town warning to get the input from voters as to whether or not they thought the time was right for the town to proceed with the purchase. The proposal would give the town up to 2 years to start making payments on the rail trail, so it wouldn't be something that would impact town finances immediately during a year when it's kind of unclear as to what the local economy is going to be spinning off in terms of tax revenue to the town. The select board did adopt that proposal by a 5-0 unanimous vote, but they're going to talk about it a little bit more on next Tuesday before it's finalized completely. the owners of the rail trail, Old Railroad Bed LLC, are eager to have the town take this on, and are hopeful that this year will be the one where the wheels are fully set in motion on that. But we're going to be following that one a little more closely, and hope to have a segment about that maybe as soon as next week. We shall see. Meanwhile, other towns, of course, are working on their budgets and warnings. We've been following not only Manchester's deliberations, but also those in Dorset and Arlington. Hope to have some further segments on those coming up. And town meeting, as of course, as we all know at this point, is going to look a little different. We won't have the classic informational and floor meetings that we've all become familiar with. The information meetings will be held, in most cases, online. I've yet to hear of a town that is planning to hold one in the traditional sense, although I suppose there are some of the smaller communities that might be able to pull that off with the right social distancing. But by and large, most communities are looking at having an information meeting online a week or so, if not the night before, just to go over the warning, the budget, have voters ask questions, and I guess you might just want to, like, when that gets finalized, find out when those meetings will be held, because unlike in the past when it would have been the night before the town meeting vote, in this case, which will be held on Tuesday, March 2nd, it could be earlier. Voting itself, of course, will be by Australian ballot completely this year. You'll be able to either mail in ballots or go to the town hall and drop them off. But this legislature has passed, and the governor has signed legislation that will allow local communities to restructure their town meetings and have the mail-in ballots and change or even change the date of the meeting. So it could be held outdoors, perhaps later in the year. In springtime, I believe the Wind Hall is planning on doing that. Okay, just to finally finish up, one interesting piece from about the Slate Ridge this situation up there in West Paulet. As some of you know, there's been a bit of a back and forth in that community about the shooting range or firearm training facility that an owner up there has established and didn't apparently get all the proper permits for that before opening up for business. And that has been the subject of extended back and forth between the town officials, and the owner of the Slate Ridge facility. That's been in court for a while. And earlier this week, the judge presiding over the Environmental Division of the Superior Court issued a preliminary injunction ordering them not to hold or allow any firearms-related training activities on the property until further notice. The court found that the owner did own the property in question and began operating a firearms training facility in 2017 without a permit that was required by the town zoning bylaws. And so until that can get resolved, they won't be able to have that open. It's been a very controversial subject up there. A lot of back and forth around it, but that is where things stand at the moment on that. And that's where we'll leave this edition of the News Project Live today. It's been a pleasure having you with us. I hope you have a great weekend and can get the snowshoes out, or the sled, or the skis, or whatever is your way of coping with the winter. And we'll see you again next Friday for the GNAT-TV News Project. Have a good weekend. Take care.